Please, may I humbly ask that we stand for the opening prayer. Most gracious and merciful God, we want to thank you for your goodness and mercies. We thank you for the gift of the day. We are very grateful to you for our dear University of Cape Coast. We thank you for 60 years of our existence as an institution. We thank you for what we have been able to achieve over these years. We thank you for the leadership that you have provided for this institution and for what you have been able to use them to achieve for the institution. We also thank you for the opportunity that you are giving to students to pursue various programs and for the services that they have rendered not only to our nation, but to the international community. We are here this morning to celebrate 60 years of our achievement as an institution. We want to commit this launch program into your hands, Lord. We pray that may you lead us as we go through the program of activities to ensure success as we begin in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Please, shall we take our seats?
Thank you very much, Reverend Professor. At this point, I'll kindly ask that we stand again for the UCC anthem. The verses to the anthem will be found on page 28 of the program. Very much. Please assume your seats. At this point, I'll welcome the Registrar of the University, Mr. Jefte Onyame, to give the welcome remarks and introduce the chairman for this occasion.
Hello. Right. Thank you very much, Kosia. Chairman of Council, Honorable Minister of Education, Honorable Central Regional Minister, members of Parliament here present, the Vice Chancellor, members of the University of Cape Coast Governing Council, Osabere Makwesiata II, Omanhin of the Ogwa Traditional Area, Vice Chancellors of sister universities here present, past Vice Chancellors of the university, Pro-Vice Chancellor, and Pro-Vice Chancellors of sister universities here present, past Pro-Vice Chancellors, Vice Chancellors of the university, colleague registrars of sister universities here present, past registrars of the university, Nananum, provosts, deans, directors, and heads of department, members of convocation, the chairman and members of the 60th Anniversary Planning Committee, fellow alumni of the university, distinguished guests, staff and students of the University of Cape Coast, our friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is indeed a great honor for me, on behalf of management, staff and students of the University of Cape Coast, to welcome you to our campus and to this center for the launch of activities to mark the celebration of the 60th anniversary of the establishment of this university. Some 60 years ago in 1962, specifically on the 15th of December 1962, the University of Cape Coast, then University College of Cape Coast, was inaugurated. It had earlier, in September that year, opened its doors to its first students in the preliminary arts and science programs. In fact, in November of that same year, first-year students were admitted. I should indicate that plans for the establishment of the university had been in the works much earlier. Indeed, at a Durbar of the chiefs and people of Cape Coast held on the 5th of November 1960, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, President of the Republic, announced the project to establish a university at Cape Coast, the third such institution in the country. 9 years after its inauguration and being under the tutelage of the University of Ghana, the University of Cape Coast, by an act of parliament, University of Cape Coast Act 1971, as Act 390, became an independent university with the power to award its own diplomas, confer degrees, and award certificates. As you know, this act has since been repealed and replaced by the University of Cape Coast Law 1992, PNDC Law 278. The university was established with an original mandate to train professional graduate teachers for Ghana's second cycle institutions, including the teacher training colleges, now colleges of education. It was also required to train people to meet the manpower requirements of the implementing agencies of the Ghana's Ministry of Education. Indeed, Dr. Nkrumah established the University of Cape Coast to champion the Pan-Africanist ideal of providing critical education that will serve as a catalyst for the economic emancipation and development of countries on the continent of Africa, especially those south of the Sahara. As we all know too well, in response to changing needs and goals of society and the entire educational enterprise, the university has, over the last several years, progressively introduced new program offerings in a number of critical professional fields. The university has, in the course of the last 60 years, done remarkably well, and our achievements over the period will be the subject of remarks by other speakers to follow. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my mission at this podium this afternoon is twofold: to welcome all of you, which I have done, and also introduce the chairman for the occasion. May I now therefore proceed to introduce the chairman for the occasion. Our chairman for the occasion studied law at universities in 3 jurisdictions. First, at the University of Ghana, leading to a Bachelor of Laws degree. Then at the University of Witwatersrand, South Africa, where he attained an LLM degree, and later at the University of Hanover, Germany, where he earned his JD, Juris Doctor, or Doctor of Jurisprudence. Just as was the case with his education, his teaching and academic career has been across borders. He began in Ghana, went on to Liberia, then proceeded to Nigeria and later South Africa. He relocated to Ghana in 2016. But before relocating, he had completed an extensive stint as an academic at 3 universities in South Africa, namely the University of Fort Hare, the University of Venda, and the University of Limpopo. Our chairman has extensive teaching, research, and publications record in the areas of constitutional law, administrative law, and human rights. He was project co-leader in a multi-million-dollar constitutional justice project at the University of Fort Hare on the assessment of the impact of decisions of the Constitutional Court and Supreme Court of Appeal on the transformation of society. That was funded by the Department of Justice and involved 32 researchers and field staff, as well as judges, universities, and civil society organizations. He was also the managing editor of Speculum Juris, an accredited law journal. Currently, he's a member of the editorial board of US-China Review Law Journal in China and the Polish Law Review Journal in Poland. He has also served in several universities as external examiner, a peer reviewer of legal publications, and as a postgraduate thesis supervisor. He's published extensively in high-impact journals. A famous publication of his is a book, Constitutional Review in Federalized Systems of Government, a comparison of Germany and South Africa. Our chairman has vast academic leadership and management experience as head of department, founding director of a Human Rights Research Center, and dean of various faculties at universities in South Africa and Ghana, including UCC. He has held membership of various professional organizations and is currently a board member of the International Association of Law Schools and a member of the Global Law Deans Forum. He was appointed the president of Wisconsin International University College, Ghana, with effect from August 2017, following an initial appointment as head of department at Wisconsin's Faculty of Law. Prior to these appointments, and as I hinted earlier, he was a visiting professor of law here at the University of Cape Coast, where he also had a brief stint as acting dean of the Faculty of Law. From 2019 to 2021, he was chairman of the Governing Council of the University of Education, Winneba. He has since August 2021 been the pro-chancellor and chairman of the Governing Council of this great university, University of Cape Coast. And so, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps with a round of applause, help me to welcome our chairman of council, Professor Obin Leku.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister of Education, Ministers of State and Members of Parliament here present, members of the University of Cape Coast Governing Council, Osabarima Kwesiata II Omahin of Ugwa Traditional Area, Your Excellency, Harriet Thompson, British High Commissioner to Ghana, and other members of the Diplomatic Corps, Vice-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellors of sister universities present, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Vice-Chancellors of sister universities present, Registrar, Registrars of sister universities here present, past Vice-Chancellors, Pro-Vice-Chancellors, and Registrars of the university, Nananum, Provost, Deans, Directors, Heads of Department, Members of Convocation, great alumni of the University of Cape Coast, Chairman and members of the 60th Anniversary Planning Committee, invited guests, staff and students of the University of Cape Coast, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As chairman of the Governing Council of the University of Cape Coast, it gives me much pleasure to be here today as we launch the activities to mark the celebration of the 60th anniversary of the establishment of this great institution, the University of Competitive Choice. I would like to extend special greetings and best wishes from the Chancellor of the University, Dr. Sam Esson Jonah, who is unable to be here with us today. The university has come quite a long way since its establishment in 1962. As you all know, 60 years in the life of an individual in the formal sector, at least in our jurisdiction, would usually mark the beginning of the end, as this individual would have retired from active service to not only rest, but also prepare for the final exit. For us as an institution, however, this year marks the beginning of greater things yet to come. Over the years, we have had many and varied experiences, periods of turbulence, of stabilization, and of growth. I am happy to note that over the last few years, we have come into our own, having made significant strides in terms of expansion and achievements. True to our mandate, we have, since our establishment, helped immensely in building the human capital base of our country. Our products can be found in every sector of the economy, both in Ghana and across the globe, contributing their quota to the development and growth of society. This is exactly what the expectations for us as universities have been right from the beginning. That is, to be part and parcel of our respective national environments, reflecting in our work the hopes and aspirations of our various societies. Within the constraints of our resources, we have tried valiantly to be relevant to the needs of our communities. And this achievement must be recognized by all. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And so we have every cause to be proud to be launching our Diamond Jubilee in a year that we have been adjudged in the Times Higher Education World Universities ranking to be the best university in Ghana and West Africa. Fourth on the continent of Africa. First in terms of research influence globally, and first among the new entrant universities into the ranking for the year 2022. Thank you. This is surely the year of consolidation. And yet, this feat undoubtedly deserves to be celebrated with pomp and pageantry. It calls for greater resolve on our part, on the part of all staff and students of the university to sustain and further improve upon. I am confident that we are all poised to work together to ensure that the university continues to play a leading role in the transformation of our country and continent. Ladies and gentlemen, having had a long meeting of the Governing Council of the university this morning, and noting that we have a lot of ground to cover in this launch, I would like to conclude by indicating my acceptance of the invitation to chair the session. I count on the cooperation of all to ensure a successful launch and an equally successful anniversary year. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Professor Chair. At this point, I would ask you to help me welcome Mercy Achianu, Gideon Afezi, accompanied by Gilbert Kumsin Barnes, to give us a musical interlude.
There's not on earth a single creature that can resist the death and the power, the love of God that is thy crown. All life depends on love alone. All life depends on love.
Thank you very much, Miss Mercy Achianu, Mr. Gideon Afezi, accompanied by Mr. Gilbert Kumsin Barnes. They are all level 300 students of the Department of Music and Dance, UCC. At this point, help me once again welcome the Vice Chancellor of University of Cape Coast, Professor Johnson Yakupuampong, to give us a statement on the 60th anniversary.
Professor Chair, permit me to stand on the protocol already established and to add my voice to that of Registrar and your good self to welcome you all to yet another historic event, the launch of the 60th anniversary celebration of the University of Cape Coast. The theme for the celebration is 60 years of quality higher education, expanding the frontiers. Professor Chair, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great feeling to be leading this noble university at such a time like this. Professor Chair, what has become known today as University of Competitive Choice started as a small seed 60 years ago. The university has now grown into a very big oak tree under which many have come to seek shelter. As most of us gathered here may be aware, the University of Cape Coast started in October 1962 as a university college. This was in response to the country's critical human resource need for highly qualified and skilled manpower in the education sector. Today, UCC has transitioned into a vibrant institution of higher learning and is making significant strides both nationally and globally. Professor Chair, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I intimated at the launch of the Design Thinking and Innovation Hub that since the establishment of this university, we have had low times and we have also witnessed very high moments. This reminds me of Osibise's famous song, that the journey in the past 60 years has been muddy and rough, but sometimes smooth. We have assembled here today to officially launch our 60th anniversary celebration. And it is important to remind ourselves that in spite of the difficulties we may have encountered on our journey, we have become stronger as a people. Professor Chair, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, currently, our collective image as an institution is high. We are reputed across the sub-region and indeed globally as a bastion of not only academic excellence, but as a pacesetter in higher education. All these achievements would not have been possible but for the collective efforts and sacrifices of junior staff, senior members, including those who have retired from active service and those who have passed on. As the Vice Chancellor of this great institution, I see this as the beginning of greater things yet to come. It is therefore important that we work harder to overcome our challenges so that we can maintain our enviable position as a top-ranked university in Ghana, West Africa, and global leader in terms of our research influence. Long live UCC, long live Ghana. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Nyako Buampong. At this point, we'll take a musical interlude as we prepare for the registrar to introduce the guest of honor. That was a cultural display by Odikro Royal Dance Company. They are also coming from the Department of Music, UCC. To introduce the guest of honor for today's event, help me welcome the Registrar of the University, Mr. Jeff Tay Onyame.
Thank you very much, Akosia. In fact, the Honorable Minister has asked us to be very brief in introducing him, so I'm going to do just that, to be very brief. Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Duchum, MP, is currently the Minister for Education of the Republic of Ghana, as well as the Chairman of the Ghana Commission for UNESCO. He is a Member of Parliament for the Busumchi constituency in the Ashanti region of Ghana. He was the Chief Executive Officer of Lakeview Schools in Jechi in the Ashanti region before his election as an MP. He was also the CEO and founder of New Designs Educational Group, California, USA. He has over a decade's experience in the educational policy, planning, and administration. As an MP, he has so far single-handedly sponsored 97 students from the Busumchi constituency to pursue programs in engineering and medicine in universities across the country. That is an ongoing program, so we'll leave to tell the story another time. He was born on 9th of April 1964, and I know that year, in Kumasi, and hails from Jechi in the Ashanti region of Ghana. He obtained his bachelor's degree from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in 1990, and a postgraduate diploma in teaching, that is teaching credentials, from Chapman University, City of Orange, California, USA in 1999. He obtained his Master of Education in Educational Management and Administrative Services credentials from the University of La Verne, California, USA in 1997. He was awarded a Doctor of Philosophy degree in Educational Policy and Administration from the University of Southern California, USC, Los Angeles, USA in 2008. He has participated in several UNESCO conferences and workshops where he was a resource person in many of them. He is also a member of several professional bodies, recent ones being the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development, USA. Until his current appointment, he was the Deputy Minister for Education in charge of general education. With this brief introduction, please help me welcome our guest of honor and Minister of Education.
Thank you, Registrar. It's indeed an honor to be at University of Cape Coast. Mr. Chairman, Vice Chancellor and Registrars of sister universities, Your Excellencies, colleague ministers, members of Parliament, present, Sabere Markwesiata II, Ugwamahine, Nananum, invited guests, members of the university community, staff and students, our friends from the media, all other protocols duly observed. Thank you, Registrar, for a brief introduction. I've never been at a university whose anthem is so inspirational than that of UCC. Yeah, it's the most inspirational anthem I've ever listened to. And maybe because I'm a teacher, it rings a bell with me. But I was super excited hearing the words of your anthem. Your existence as a university and the work that you have done is well known in the world. Your accolades, everybody knows by this time. And yesterday I was at the University of Ghana. And today I'm at the University of Cape Coast. And I'll not do any comparison. because I don't want to be in trouble. But suffice it to say that the university that is focusing on education obviously is going to leave a great legacy. Legacy that will be incomparable to any other. When you are raising the men and women who enter the classrooms and educate the future generation, you have embarked on a noble vision, and your mission should therefore be supported. So today, as you launch your 60th anniversary, on behalf of the president that you recently recognized at this university, I want to congratulate you for the work that you are doing here. Your theme was talking about the new frontiers. The new frontiers in terms of access, new frontiers in terms of quality, new frontiers in terms of relevance of what you do here to the socio-economic transformation of our nation. My staff spent a considerable number of hours in writing my speeches. And at the last minute, I changed it. So I changed it to reflect what I see in the audience. I see people with beautiful smiles, right? And if my speech is not going to allow them to smile, then I have to change it. You are a university of competitive choice. And this is what actually reflects what you do. By also helping to build a competitive nation in the 21st century. A nation that must survive the fourth industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution was the steam engine, the second electricity came, and we thought we had seen it all until the advent of computers. Then the electronic era also came. Today we have stepped into the fourth industrial revolution, a place where we see the synergy between the electronic and the biological. When you are able to enter a facility by virtue of the fact that you are using your thumbprint, you are merging biological and electrical. By virtue of certain devices, you are able to even look into the refrigerator in your house to see whether you have enough water in there or if you need to buy more. This world is changing. The era of artificial intelligence is defining work. And it is documented that in the next 10 years, in a number of countries, 40% of the work that is being done is going to be done differently and invariably by robots. We are in a different era. We are in a different time. And for our nation to be competitive, we need to change how we teach and how students learn. We can't continue to do the same thing that we've done over the years and allow our nation to become competitive. Our nation will not be competitive unless we stop rote memorization in our classroom. When we happen to be in a space where students are supposed to give back to us what we give back to them, that is not creating a competitive nation. I've seen that before. When in some subject I never got an A when I was at the KNUST. And I remember one course that I never got A in. It was called Land Use Planning. The professor wanted to make sure you gave back exactly what he gave to you in the notes. And my mind was not made for that. And therefore I was penalized for not being able to memorize. There were no computers then. Now there are computers. Your phone is a computer. If it's about memorization, then just record it onto the computer and professor play it to yourself and you have it back. But if we want our nation to become competitive, then we want to ensure that the students add value to what we tell them, what we teach them. So that the professor, when marking the script, is also learning from the student, because the student is bringing up great ideas that the professor was even not going to be secondary. If you look at the Pre-Tertiary Education Act, which governs education in this country, you're going to realize that in that act, we did not even include junior high schools as part of secondary. We are saying that they are part of basic, some definition that was given to us by UNESCO. Consequently, when we moved from the O and A level and ventured into the junior high schools and senior high schools, we pushed the junior high school away from secondary, made it part of primary. And then we told ourselves that you are still called a junior high school. In the American education system where we borrowed this from, junior high is part of secondary. But we never did. That is why there must be a change. We must ensure that the weak middle is strengthened. So, University of Competitive Choice, we want you to lead the way in education reform in this country. Should never be the preserve of the Ministry of Education to come up with ideas. You are the forefront of education transformation. I want you to begin to look at how do we strengthen junior secondary to truly make it secondary and not part of primary school. So we are one of the few nations where secondary is 3 years. Never seen it anywhere. At minimum is 6 years. So by the time you finish your lower secondary or junior high, you'll be introduced to biology, chemistry, and physics. You can do your robotics. By the time you go to the senior secondary, you are fully prepared to do university education. And that is why the president has directed me to ensure that we strengthen the lower secondary, the junior secondary level, as we call junior high school, to make sure that we can truly have a 6-year secondary education. It doesn't mean that it has to be at one location, but it can be at different locations, but wherever you are doing there is secondary education work and not primary or upper primary work, so to speak. So University of Cape Coast, we want you to lead the charge. The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has come to lead and champion education transformation. So many things are taking place. And they are all taking place because we have to change the way we do business in the field of education. All the nations that have transformed their fortunes have transformed it because they've changed how education is done. So that education can truly benefit their nations. When we talk about the Asian tigers and we talk about how rapidly they have transformed their fortunes, it's not because they have gold or diamonds or they have the richest soils in the world to plant cocoa, but because they look at education and saw that that is the only way forward for them. And consequently, when education was done well, their nations changed. Recently, South Korea, about 3 years ago, it's not that recent, but they came to Ghana to give us money to build a university at Bunso. Fortunately, that university's construction will begin in about a month's time. But when they came here and had a meeting with us at the Ministry of Education, they asked us, how is it that in 1960, Ghana was economically better off than us, but now we are better off than you? You don't want to be in that kind of meeting when somebody is asking you, how did that become better than you? But that was the meeting that we were sitting in. And we're scratching our heads in shame. And then they showed us a graph. There were 3 of them. The first graph was comparing the per capita income of Ghana and South Korea in 1960. In 1960, our per capita income was $189 and theirs was $156. And then they said, so you all know. And then they moved on and showed us another graph. The other graph was the gross tertiary enrollment ratio of Ghana and that of South Korea. Our gross tertiary enrollment ratio at that time was 16.19%. Now we are 20%. But South Korea at the time was 93.6%. And they said that is why we are here to give you money to build another university. If you don't change your gross tertiary enrollment ratio, you can never be like us. That is why the President of the Republic has given us a mandate that by 2030, Ghana's gross tertiary enrollment ratio should be 40%. When you hit 40%, a lot of things change for you, for your country. Mauritius is 40%, their skyline is changing. Countries that get to 50%, it works like magic. If we don't strive to move forward in terms of higher education transformation, we will never be like the Asian tigers. Our cocoa will not do the trick. It's going to be education. So as you do your 60th anniversary and talk about expanding the frontiers, I want you to expand the frontiers of quality education. I want you to begin to look at your graduates as one that are going to add value to the labor force of this nation. That industries will come to these universities and recruit from here. You should provide the right and requisite manpower in such a way that if companies come to these universities and they were planning to recruit 10 students, they will end up recruiting 40 students because they cannot resist recruiting from the University of Competitive Choice. Your accolade of competitive choice will be validated by the kind of graduate you produce. The kind of graduate that will encourage students to give up their best in the classroom. I have meetings and I've taught in a number of classrooms. I love teaching. And I enjoy students. You meet with them and they are so innocent, you can mold their minds to think bigger and to really dream big. Understand that they are the future leaders of this nation. Your competitive choice should also be demonstrated in the area of increasing access, which I believe you are doing very well. You have branch campuses in various parts of the country. But I want you to begin to reassess a new frontier where you take charge of education of teachers for special needs children. Special needs children, autistic children that will need some speech therapy. Our nation is in short supply of speech therapists. Cape Coast must lead the way. You must lead the way in the training of education psychologists. Those who can support our teachers in the education of our children. You must lead the way in STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I love it. That's why I'm sponsoring about 97 of our STEM professionals. I believe that we can do better as a nation by increasing the percentage of our students who are in these fields. Doing very well in other fields, but when it comes to STEM, we are found wanting. And especially when it comes to gender parity. At the Kwame Nkrumah University of Technology, Science and Technology, leaders of engineering, only 15% of the engineering students are women. And it's not good enough. We can do better. So at the Ministry of Education, I think this will have been an indictment of KUST. I talk about engineering at KUST and the light went off. So I'm glad it's back because that would have been bad. The President of the Republic is leading the charge in STEM education. And we need UCC to respond by giving us STEM education professionals, teachers who step in and teach students in that field. This year, we've opened 4 schools dedicated to STEM. If you go to the STEM school in the northeast, Pasempen, the one in Eastern region at Abomosu, you'll be amazed at the kind of school that the president has sponsored and has been built. Next year, we'll be able to open about 7 more STEM high schools across the country. We believe that we need to build a pipeline of students in the STEM fields and eventual graduates in the STEM fields. And that is why we are not just looking at high school. Lower secondary schools that are under construction are going to provide us the opportunity to do STEM education and be able to become competitive with the rest of the world. Mr. Chairman, our current gross tertiary enrollment ratio, as I've alluded to, is something that we need to work on. We need to make sure that our numbers will go up. But increasing access must not be at the expense of quality. We can do both. And that is why some people indicted us with a free senior high school saying that we are destroying quality. The research is there. If you increase access without qualitative intervention, yes, quality will diminish. But that cannot be said of the free secondary education. It cannot be said because we also introduce interventions. For the first time, we brought about intervention grants so that teachers will be paid extra to offer extra support to our students. And as they say, if you really want to judge how well we've done, go to the outcomes. The last 3 years, our WASSCE results have been better than the years when there was no free senior high school. And for those who doubt it, you can check. Data don't lie. If the data is lying, then I'm lying. The data shows the students have done better the last 3 years than ever. And then when you hear about the double track, I want to speak briefly about it before I take my seat. There are some who at the beginning did not understand. There are some who chose not to understand. But in America, when I was teaching in Los Angeles, they changed their high schools in most of the states from 3 years to 4. High school used to be 3. In the US, in 1992, California decided that their high school should be 4, so that the student will be adequately prepared for university education, and so they did. But even in America, they didn't have the money to expand infrastructure, so they had to use what was called year-round schools, or what we call in Ghana double track. So I taught in a double track school for 10 years. And access was expanded. After 10 years, they returned most of their schools to single track. When the president brought about, endorsed, and helped us to introduce double track, he said the same, 5 to 7 years. And as I speak with you, the Minister of Education is transitioning all schools from double track to single track. That is why we don't have any double entry of Form 1s in any school in this country this year. All Form 1s are going to school as one cohort and not double. Next year, instead of alternating for 2 tracks to be at the campus at any point in time, next year a number of schools will go back to single track because they've gotten enough facilities to do that. So you're going to see across the length and breadth of this country that a number of schools will move on to single track. The entire school will open and close the academic year at the same time. Promise made, and the promise will be kept. But what has been the result of the number of students who have had a chance to go to senior high school in this country? In 2016, the number of high school students, those who enter high school, was around 300,000. This year, we are poised to bring in close to 500,000 students in our high schools. If things did not change, if the vision of the free senior high school was not implemented, if double track was not implemented, this year, 200,000 students will have stayed at home. They may not include your children. But I'll tell you this. If talent was fishes and they were in ponds, there will be two ponds in Ghana. The pond of the rich and the pond of the poor. In the pond of the rich and the privileged like me and you, educated, where our children are in that pond is overfished, because all of our children has a chance to go to the university and move on to do master's degrees. But the pond of the underprivileged is not being fished at all. And that is where all the talent in this nation is. And if we're going to look for extra talent for the transformation of Ghana, we have to be concerned about the underprivileged or the less privileged of this nation. Their talent is not being used by this nation. Your children's talents will be used by this nation. So if we need extra resources to change this nation, it's not going to come from your home, it's not going to come from my home, it's going to come from the home of those who are less privileged, the poor. They are the ones that we have to support and help and lift up and give them opportunity. And when we give them that opportunity, it's not just for them, but it's for this nation. Because in their communities is where the new talents can be found. Where we can mine the new Einsteins of the world. There are families where nobody has ever gone to senior high school. And if we don't go there, and we continue to look at ourselves and begin to complain, why are we bringing all these children here? There are places where teachers are complaining that students with aggregate 20 are being accepted. I had a wonderful conversation with some man who is very high up. He called me one day and said, why are you sending students with aggregate 22 to Presec? And I said, sir, I think Presec has one of the best group of teachers in this country. He said, yes, it's true, Presec, yeah, that's my school. And he said, yeah, they are examiners and they are very good. And I said, yeah, sir, I know. They are examiners and they are very good. So they are the ones who are prepared to teach those who have a grade 25. The idea that students who have a grade 25 should know God to Presec, it boggles my mind. They are the ones who belong to Wesley Girls, where you have talented teachers. So if Wesley Girls want to prove to me that they are the best school and they are the best school, they need to take in students with a grade 20. And turn them around so that they can tell us that they are better than my famous school, Jate Pramso. So when my teacher pass taking I get 30 and 40 and the student don't do, I say, look at them. So I believe that what we are doing is supposed to bring everybody on board. Help mold their minds. Bring all people, irrespective of where they were born, into the talent pool. Lift them up. Let them begin to know that their future will be brighter. Children who may never seen WC before. And I tell you, they are hungry for knowledge. They believe the only future they have is education. And when you bring them in and you mentor and guide them, they will be the best this nation has to offer. I'm standing in front of you here and I never went to Infansepen. Never had a chance to go to Adisada. Because my dad couldn't have afforded it. He couldn't have bought a trunk for me to go to boarding school. So I found myself at Jase Pramso. Took advantage of every opportunity that the school could offer. Opportunity which included the fact that we had no running water. We had to go to a pond to fetch water. Sometimes we saw vultures in the pond. We told the headmaster, and headmaster said, no, it cannot be true. Vultures don't like water. So, my story is the story of education and transformation. And so is the story of a number of you. So we can't look back and turn back on the poor. Once upon a time, we were like them. And I say this all the time. Some of you pass in front of schools in our communities where the less privileged children attend. Spend 15 minutes of your time to go there and talk to the children and let them know that if you are a professor, they too can be professors. This nation's transformation is not just in the hands of politicians. I know we are the one that you sometimes lament about, and I say you lambast us. And then the story ends with my brother, right? And I hear people say, if only the politicians will change, this nation will change. Some of us have changed a long time ago. So help us change this nation by doing your part. You have a role to play. Let that child who is sitting in the Zongo or the RC primary hear from you. Let him know that he can become like you. She can become like you. The army of volunteers in this nation. If we all go to one junior high school, one primary school, and spend 15 minutes with the children, there are children there who just look at you and say, wow, he's an accountant. I can be. You may never go there again, but that may be your lasting legacy to the children that you speak with. I want you to understand that the future of this nation is in your hands, in the hands of all of us. Our future is better than the past. This nation will see transformation, but it's not going to happen unless all of us become agents of transformation. University of Cape Coast, at the forefront of education, is indeed at the forefront of social transformation. If we support this institution, if we work hard in this institution, our future will be different. Cape Coast, we all owe. Cape Coast, we owe. They gave us the best schools in this country. And we made most of those schools boarding schools. And the children of Cape Coast could not pay for boarding to go to those schools. Those of you who had a chance to go to a Disada and Fansipim, how many students in your class were from Cape Coast? Natives of Cape Coast. We owe Cape Coast a lot. So University of Competitive Choice, step into the classrooms in Cape Coast and lift up the children from Cape Coast and let their future be better. I charge you, as you celebrate 60th anniversary, to set up a neighborhood academic initiative where you mentor and guide the young ones in Cape Coast primary schools so that they too can be here and they can have the opportunity to sit in a beautiful hall like this. And it's not going to happen if we keep on sitting in the ivory tower and forgetting about those whose lands we have our beautiful edifices on. I know Nana will be happy. And I'm coming here to launch the Neighborhood Academic Initiative of University of Cape Coast. Mr. Vice Chancellor, if you do, the ministry will support. Will support you to have the transportation to send volunteers to the various primary schools in Cape Coast, get them literacy tutors, so that it will not be said that by the time Cape Coast students get to primary stage, they can read. You know, in 2015, an exam was administered and only 2% of primary 2 students could read in Ghana. Today, things have not changed much. But Cape Coast, the citadel of learning, must not be the place where they have poor learning outcomes. So, Nana, I'll support University of Cape Coast. I'll give you transportation. And I want inscribed on the bus. I want to inscribe on the bus, and we'll write it before the bus gets here. UCC Neighborhood Academic Initiative. So the bus will drop off volunteers in all Cape Coast schools and pick them up at the end of their day. Let us change Cape Coast, and that will be the lasting legacy of University of Competitive Choice.
So what do I do?
Okay, I'm told I have to formally launch the 60th anniversary. So now that if you do this UCC Neighborhood Academic Initiative, you'll be the first school, the first university in Africa to do that. And your bus is going to be presented to you within the next 2 weeks. So by the authority vested in me by the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as the Minister for Education, I declare University of Cape Coast 60th anniversary duly launched.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. So at this time, we are going to cut the 60th anniversary launch cake. And to help us do this, I'll call once again on the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Yawase Aduchum, supported by the Chairman of Council, Professor Obing Meku, supported by the Vice Chancellor, University of Cape Coast, Professor Johnson Yakubu Ampong, Omanhin of Ogwa Osabre Markwesata II, and all past Vice Chancellors in our midst. Past Vice Chancellors in our midst, Professor Didi Kumpole, Professor Gate Ampia, please help us. We'll also call on the Central Regional Minister, Mrs. Justina Marigold-Asan, to support. We also have the British High Commissioner, Her Excellency Harriet Thompson, who would also help in the cutting of the cake. I'll call on the Pro-VC, Professor Rosamond Bohine, to also support. I don't think he wants to go.
Hey. You. Good. The cake is cut.
The Honourable Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North.
Oh,
Dr. Kwamna Mintenyaku.
yeah, please. You are from Cape Coast. You know how to cut a cake. Yeah, come and do a cut. The Cape Coast guy. You know. No, come. Yeah. Yeah, cake belongs to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so this adds to the launching of the 60th anniversary celebrations. You're giving me an opportunity, an Ashanti man, to cut a cake.
Thank you very much. Let's do it for them as they take their seats. Thank you very much. Can we do it for them the last time as they take their seats? And it's now time to pop some champagne. To help us do this, the SRC President, GRASAG President, President of UTAG, President of GAWA, Senior Staff Association, Universities of Ghana UCC President, and the President of TEU. Let's welcome them, please. Right, if you're ready, let's do the popping. Okay. Now come to me, Monsieur, are you ready? Okay. Yeah. So the drinks will come up the podium and our special personalities up here would be served. Would anybody propose the toast? So I'll call on the manager, general manager for the campus broadcasting services, Mr. Kwabena Chuknedu, to propose the toast. Please, let's welcome him.
Are you sure everybody has?
Not everybody, just those on the high table. I mean, on the podium.
Hello. This is a happy moment. And so we'll do something short and beautiful. I want to see those who have what I have. How many show? Well, some are using bottled water. It doesn't matter, show it. If you have this, please humbly stand up with me. Humbly. 60 years is no joke. Just look at my hand. We'll do it 3 times. So, to the glory of God for how far UCC has come. Up. To the glory of God and to the community of University of Cape Coast. Up. You go up again. The last up. To the glory of God for how far God has brought University of Cape Coast and the nation Ghana. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kwabena Chuknedu. He's the general manager for the campus broadcasting services. So we'll take a musical interlude as we enjoy our drinks. I'll call on Miss Mercy Achianu. student with the Department of Music and Dance, University of Cape Coast. We will take a brief statement from the British High Commissioner, Her Excellency Harriet Thompson. Let's welcome her, please.
Honourable Minister for Education, the Honourable Regional Minister for Central Region, Chairman of the Council, Vice Chancellor, teachers, students, chiefs, please all protocols observed. Let me stand on existing protocols. It is a huge pleasure to be here with you to celebrate this wonderful, wonderful milestone. And like the Minister, I'm going to deviate from my speech. When they wrote my speech, they said, it's a huge pleasure for me to be here. But this has genuinely felt like a celebration of what is a remarkable achievement for a remarkable university. So congratulations to all of you. I'm now trying to think of ways that I myself can become UCC alumni. This university is going from strength to strength, having been recognized as the #1 university in Ghana, the #1 university in West Africa, and the top university in the world for influence of research. These are incredible achievements. The UK is proud of our strong education, innovation, and research partnerships with Ghana's government and with world-class institutions like the University of Cape Coast, or should I say the University of Competitive Choice. Together, we're raising the bar through those partnerships. UCC's beginnings started with training teachers, and it's therefore particularly impressive that UCC's Institute for Education Planning and Administration has also been recognized as a UNESCO Centre of Excellence. Over the last 6 years, the UK has partnered with UCC, with the Ministry of Education, and with colleges of education to reform teacher training through the TETEL and Skills for Success projects. This made teaching a degree profession in 2018 and is making tomorrow's teachers more specialised, practice-based, inclusive and digital to meet 21st century children's needs. It's vital for universities like UCC to research the impact of policy reforms on citizens. And the project called Deliver Ed, started in 2020, is working through the University of Oxford together with UCC to deliver that. We've got partnerships in other areas as well, innovative thinking. For example, the UK is collaborating with 5 universities in Ghana through our Innovation for African Universities project, which sees partnership between UCC, the University of Swansea and the University of Birmingham. And it's more of these partnerships between fabulous institutions like UCC that I would love to see moving forwards. We're committed to supporting Ghana's students and academics to gain further education and work experience to fulfill their potential as leaders and as change makers. And while I'm up here, on that note, please make me make a plug for the UK's scholarship programs that we offer, the internships at the British High Commission, the national service opportunities that we have. We encourage UCC students and faculty to find out more about these opportunities, to share those and to apply. Information's on our websites. So as UCC enters the next 60 years, please, we want to be with you on that journey. We want to support your partnerships. We want to help UCC be an even stronger global leader in education, improving Ghana and improving the world. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you very much, Madam. We'll take a goodwill message from the Central Regional Minister, the Honorable Mrs. Justina Marigold Asan.
In fact, we were all forced to be part of the alumni. And I want to say that I'm part of it by extension through marriage. Thank you. Because my husband is a proud product of this excellent institution. And I want to identify myself with everything UCC. Congratulations. Osabere Makwesiata the second, Ogwa Mahine, and my own father, Nananum, my colleague minister, Honorable Member of Parliament, Her Excellency Harriet Thompson, and all protocol duly observed. The University of Cape Coast is undoubtedly one of the best universities in Africa and beyond. And to celebrate 60 years of existence is no mean achievement. It is for this reason that the Central Regional Coordinating Council is proud to associate itself with the historic launch of the 60th anniversary celebrations. I'm reliably informed that the university was set up in 1962 by Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah with the sole purpose of producing teachers to feed our schools in the country. Since the university has grown its bounds, producing professionals from all fields of endeavor, with some of its products competing globally. Others hold key positions locally, contributing to the social, economic, and political development of our country. My understanding is that this university was adjudged the best university in Ghana and West Africa, and is counted among the top universities in Africa in the 2022 university rankings. Once again, congratulations. What excites me most is the ranking of the UCC as the #1 university globally for research influence, and first among 138 new entrant universities in the world. Again, I'm so happy that this university is ranked among the top 350 universities globally. This is great achievement, which has made Ghana proud, and especially those of us in the central region. It is unprecedented, and we cannot hide our special commendation to those who have made this success happen. Congratulations once again. We are so proud of you, and we wish to express our special appreciation to the Vice Chancellor and his team for a good work done, as well as all the past Vice Chancellors and their team who nurtured this university from its humble beginning to the current global status. It is my firm belief that the management of this university, as well as students' body, would continue to position the university in her rightful position. It is important to commend the students' body for their comportment over the years, for working peacefully with the university authorities, which has promoted excellence coexistence and pushing away demonstrations and relegated some clashes on campuses. Thank you very much, students, for doing this for us. Please give it to yourselves because you have really done well. Let's ensure that the Central Regional Coordinating Council would partner with you, and we are also very proud of you and want to continue to support you on any agenda of initiative that we want to embark on by the university, and that which will need us to support you to promote academic excellence. I really appreciate your continuing partnership with the Regional Coordinating Council and other stakeholders in the region to accelerate social, economic, and political development of this our region. Continue to be the trailblazer for our people and the country as a whole. We appreciate you. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much, Honorable Regional Minister. We'll pick the last goodwill message, and that will be coming from the Honorable Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North, Dr. Kwame Namentenyako.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank everyone for coming to honor this lunch. But I also want to pick up on some few political points that the minister made up. He made mention of the fact that Cape Coasters don't attend Cape Coast schools. And since he is responsible for school placements, I would want to ask him to ensure that at least 30% of all Cape Coasters go to schools in Cape Coast. and also go to boarding, for that matter, since he brought it up. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. I also want to pick up on the High Commissioner, the British High Commission, talking about partnership with UCC and Cape Coast. I would also suggest that should members of the Cape Coast Fraternity, University of Cape Coast, people from UCC, lecturers from UCC, the indigenes of UCC come to seek for any visas to visit Britain, please do well to grant them the visas, so that we can increase that partnership. Is that all right? That's right. I would also want to thank all of you. I want to thank UCC, because UCC has played a lot of big roles in my life. First as a student, second as a lecturer, third as a senior lecturer, and currently the university community has also made me a member of parliament. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North. We would be taking some experiences that will be shared from some selected alumni of University of Cape Coast. But before we do that, I'll call on a former Vice Chancellor of UCC, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Adorobeng, for a brief statement.
Hello, everybody. A protocol has already been established, so I'll simply go ahead and say that congratulations to everybody, all students, all workers, staff, and management, as well as the governing council of this university. The Lord has indeed brought us far. We started from University of Constant Confusion. We came to University under Christ Control. We came to University of Choice. Now we are University of Competitive Choice. We have traveled all this length, and the Lord has not forsaken us. The Lord has given us a direction and will continue to give us a direction. I pray that let us all see that we have strengths. Let's all bring our strength together. There is no single person in this university who has nothing to contribute to the growth of this university. Each one of us has something to contribute to the university. Let's work together and lift high UCC. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Professor Adorobeng. So it's time to listen to some experiences from alumni of the university. First on my list, I'll call on Professor Kojo Opoku Ajiman.
Thank you very much, Professor Chair. Thank you. Professor Chair, permit me to stand on the protocols already established. This year, our university, the University of Cape Coast, is marking the 60th anniversary of its founding. Today is the appointed day within that program to reminisce and evoke the past. But amidst all the pomp and pageantry, we must remember that the only worthwhile reason to return to the past is to learn its lessons. That is the essential meaning of the Adinkra symbol, Sankofa. Let me begin by declaring myself, and I say this in all sincerity. Through God, through my extended family, through my father and my mother, they gave me life. But Cape Coast City and Cape Coast University, the University of Cape Coast, gave meaning to that life. I have spent the majority of my life in Cape Coast. It is the place where I became a man, raised my children, and fulfilled my professional life as a professor of English. There are 3 of us selected to talk about our experiences in Cape Coast as alumni. Since I'm the first and the oldest, I am assuming that the first 20 years belong to me, from 1962 to 1982. Now, this was the period that resonates profoundly with Ghanaians of a certain age. It is the period when certain terms became known. I will mention some of them. Kalabule, agege, essential commodities, IMF and structural adjustment and programs, forest fires, droughts, famine, petrol shortages, demo, military coups, night curfew, and of course, the introduction of JSS and SHS. In this presentation, I am expected to present in summary a view of these early years from my perspective as a student, as a former student. What was life like at UCC? What was the ambience and the culture? Through the mercies of God, of the God we serve and the patriotism of Ghanaians, Ghana and UCC survived the havoc of those years. This is how well things have changed. When I entered the University of Cape Coast in September of 1972, the university was very different. It was only 10 years old. The student population was 1,500. Tuition was free across the board in all 3 public universities. Meals were free. Accommodation was free. Required textbooks were free. The bus system joining Casford at the new site to Adeshe, Ogwa, and Atlantic at the old site was free. All these things occurred at no cost to the student. What lesson are we to learn from this? All I can see is, if it has happened before, it can happen again. In my time, the university culture was generally self-generating and self-contained. You have to remember this was the time when there was no internet, no social media, no cell phone. There wasn't even a campus radio. That was to be invented later. Life on campus. All extracurricular activities, such as they were, revolved around religious services, sports. Disco was big. The TV set in the junior common room was a great gathering place. A lot of beer got drunk. And there were weekend movies at the main auditorium. We had hall magazines. And then we had something I don't think you have now. We had digging and ponding and profane choirs. I declare with all apologies that I was a member of the Atlantic Profane Choir. With regard to academics, the duration of the undergraduate program was 3 years. And it was structured in such a way that whatever program you entered, you had to take education, a diploma in education. And so you graduated with a substantive degree along with a professional diploma. Everybody did education because this was a university of education. And therefore, every graduating student walked away with a substantive degree and a professional qualification. If it has been done before, it can be done again. Until the introduction of the semester system in 87-88 academic year, the operating academic system was one in which each of the 3 years that we spent here was effectively a discrete entity. It was as if each year stood on its own. In the first year, for example, there was the FUE. It's the exam you took at the end of the first year. If you passed, you stayed. If you fail, you walk away. You don't belong here. And the result of the first year was not counted towards your degree, the class that you made. The second year was almost like a fallow year because the grades you made did not reflect in your final class. And it's in the third year, the final term, the exam you did then, that showed the class that you've earned. And so during the third term, that was where you saw serious learning. There would be people who would get buckets of cold water and step in them with their books so that their feet remain cold while they learn. It was a very serious period because everything you are to gain will come from your results during that period. This was a structure that encouraged a method of studying called chew, pour, pass, and forget. And so the introduction of the semester system made rote learning defunct. Now, our students have to have a critical attitude towards the material they study and toward the world around them. That was progress. We are moving. At this point, let us pause to mention how well UCC has done these past 60 years. and there's a lot to be proud of. It may not be immediately apparent, principally because our attention has for so long been thoroughly engaged with the pandemic. But in real terms, our university is experiencing a renaissance. There is a resurgence and a new intelligent purpose to our collective stride. Our name keeps rising. We've heard people talk about the ratings. As a result, our university has reason to be proud. We have become the future the founders dreamed of. The numbers alone tell us a very strong story. As I have said, when I entered the university in '72, the student body was 1,500. Today, the total student size is over 82,000. Our founders elected to build Ghana's third university in the city of Cape Coast as a tribute to the achievements of the city itself as the cradle of education in Ghana. But Cape Coast was also the former capital that nurtured the first rumblings of nationalism. Cape Coast belongs to us as much as we belong to Cape Coast. And that's another reason to be proud. Now, it is my contention that the seeds of most of the acclaimed achievements we see today were planted in those early years. University of Cape Coast has always set the pace. And the path we cut so diligently often becomes the highway that others come to travel in the loud light of day. UCC has always been the new frontier. Is it any wonder that this university has given Ghana the first female vice-chancellor of any university, public or private? In this light, we may also mention another name. The Kruntihima of Ogwa traditional area, Nana Amba Iyaba I, is a proud product of this university. Today, we have one female professor following the other into office as a pro-vice chancellor. This is the first in Ghana. All of this has been possible, I think, because of a certain principle that undergirds the work we do here. Let me tell you a short story. It will end very soon, please. One day I was preparing to go to the classroom to teach, and the vice chancellor, then, he is here now, I won't mention his name. He sent someone to come and call me because he wanted to discuss something with me. And I told the messenger that I have a class and that I will come after my class. When I went, the VC congratulated me that I was paying attention to my students. This really is what UCC has been about. That the welfare of our students comes first. If we've been successful, this is the secret. Because nobody ever built a university and said, I'm going to give work to PhD holders. They always said, we want to educate our children. Finally, I've been given 1 more minute. So I will end with a proposal. Our founders were profoundly prescient when they founded this university. They sited it perfectly between the biggest slave castle and the oldest. What I propose is for UCC to build an institute for the study of the African diaspora so that nobody, no scholar, will undertake a serious study of our history without reference to this university. Thank you very much.
This is not Dunso. No. Today, we actually were not sure that the Minister of Education was going to join us. Indeed, it was the very last minute that we got word he was on his way. That tells you how important he considers this program. But he has to go away because there is some other important function he has to attend to. But before we let him go, we would like to thank him so very much for the love he has for the University of Cape Coast. Most of you may not know that. At least if you do not know, you know that he has promised a vehicle to be given to the university. And I'll be the one to go take that vehicle. So we thank you very much, and you have permission to leave.
Thank you very much, sir. So we'll be picking another goodwill message. And before that, I would want to inform you that there are a bit more of the goodwill messages in the program that you have been given. So you can go through and read some more. So let's welcome from the Takoradi Technical University, Registrar for that university, Dr. Moses Abnori, an alumnus of UCC.
Thank you, Akosia. Prof. Chair, I would like to embrace the already established protocol and to share with you and perhaps my generation our experiences at this great institution. Our UCC, your UCC, my UCC is 60 years today. Hooray! I count it a real opportunity to stand prosy for my generation to share our experiences, and especially in my case as a former student of this great institution, spanning the period 1991 to 1996. You'll be wondering what we were doing here. Simply, thanks to UTAC, struggle with government for better condition of service. That kept me and my colleagues at home for 9 solid months. We were then just seeking for first degree, but that happened to us. A lot more are in here. But once seniors speak, it's just like And again, I am sandwiched between a gentleman who just spoke and a lady. And you know, ladies know how to do things better than sometimes we the men. So I will not bore you too much and take a lot of time. But indeed, ladies and gentlemen, this is a university of multiple opportunities, academically, socially, and economically. Avail yourself as a student of UCC, and you are already blessed. Within the scope of these domains, ladies and gentlemen, were values of hard work, prudent management of scarce resources, patriotism, social inclusion, and respect for authority, which shaped our lives and especially our generation to the world of work. The many opportunities that came my way as a student, ladies and gentlemen, in the 90s include student politics, media encounters and relations, and mentorship from astute faculty with distinct philosophies and theories of life. You may be wondering who were the men and ladies of this time. We heard of the Ametewanian theory. We heard of the Ausabonian theories. We heard of the Draconian theories. And we heard of the Abanasius theories. These are a few great men who shaped our lives with practical lessons. And we always tell you, kindly make sure you don't just pass through this university, but let the university pass through you. Ladies and gentlemen, personally, I would like to recall 3 goals that I considered within 14 minutes during a soccer match between Oga and Atlantic Hall when our substantive goalkeeper was taken ill and I was nominated to keep the post. Immediately thereafter, I was retired and I have ever remained on retirement on soccer. I also recall being fiercely contested for an enviable position in Atlantic Hall called Mr. Atlantic, out of which I won and found my life partner I've never regretted. I also remember, ladies and gentlemen, having been exposed to student leadership, the hardest hits are Luther for the non-payment of students' loan, which led us to block the Accra road, which attracted serious tear gas from the police. Indeed, if Usain Bolt had been born at that time, I am sure I would have beaten him on the race. I ran and left my student body there on the road. And this is a lesson I will never forget until I get to my grave. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, this was a blessing and for me, a unique opportunity to have received the best education from this great institution. I stand proud today with 3 PhDs and as the registrar of one of the finest technical universities in this country, all because of the training I had from this noble and great institution, University of Cape Coast. This is a university you can make it through determination and resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, without going further, as I promised, I and my generation would like to say, Aiko to UCC and wish her the very best of the years ahead. God bless UCC. God bless the governance and management members of the university. And God bless Mother Ghana and all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abnori. Now, this announcement goes to our dear students who are participating in this event. You are informed that lectures and quizzes for the day are cancelled. So you can participate fully. Okay. So we'll take the third experience from another alumnus of UCC. Let's welcome Miss Elizabeth Ajay.
Thank you very much for this privilege. This is more like a spoken word. It's a poetry I'm here to do, and I've entitled it "The Choice." So let's relax and then listen. Choices. This ever-bloating, simple thing that makes up things as small as a mosquito, but also as deadly as a mosquito itself. A simple formula of cause and effect, an effect, a result, a consequence, the power to choose between many possibilities, the road to all positivity, but has another route to negativity. See, choices make and choices unmake. Choices restore and choices destroy. Choices elevate and choices derail. So you already chose your today yesterday, so don't ever say that life is unfair. Unfair? But the only basis for this contrast is, why are others doing better than me? And so you ask the common question, why me? No, why not you? Who else? But if you would ask me, I would say that life is full of choices than chances, because choices unlock chances. You want to stand out or be hidden? You choose. You want to follow the crowd or be the best? You choose. You want to serve or be served? You choose. And so not by default, we chose to be the #1 university in Ghana, the #1 university in West Africa, the #1 university globally for research influence, and you think that was by chance? It was a choice. "60 years of constant growth, 60 years of pure excellence, 60 years of quality higher education, 60 years of preeminence." And so if you ever think that you are in the wrong place, you already made a choice to be a member of the university of choice, a university that shapes you, a university that instills discipline in all aspects. And so if I can boast that my choice 4 years ago was not a mistake, then I can assure you that you are in the best place. So with your golden key, let your choices unlock chances. Thank you.
And that was Miss Elizabeth Ajay, who just gave us the spoken word. At this point, we're going to have a fundraising. Help me welcome Sir Knight Professor Anthony Ananpra.
Ladies and gentlemen, standing on the protocol already established, I would like to say that I have just 15 minutes to raise 6 million cedis, each million representing 10 years of this university's existence. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an emotional day for me to be doing this. 33 years ago, on the 9th of August, I was employed here as a lecturer. That is 1989. And I met a group of lecturers who were dedicated and educated me that if this university succeeds, I succeed with it. If this university fails, I fail with it. It is not the positions that you get, but the talents that you apply to make this university a university of choice and leave a legacy. 15 minutes. And in this 15 minutes, we are going to say that we are going to tell the people, the choice people on the podium, that this university belongs to us. And we have allegiance to that. And that when it succeeds with us. Mr. Organist, strike me chord 5. UCC, let us rise to the call. UCC, let us rise to the call. Let us rise. Veritas, no peace, no. Is Professor Kofi here? He composed this song. Professor Kofi, I saw him this morning. Prof, UCC, that is. Is the provost of the School of Agriculture, Natural Sciences here, Professor Jojo Egan. Is he here? Prof, please come. Veritas, no peace, you. Is the provost of Humanities here? UCC, let us rise to your call. UCC. Yes. Call the next provost. All the provosts. Veritas, no. All provosts, you. We are the humblest. We are the kindest. And we are the people that accepted the challenge of giving innovative education, research, outreach. UCC, let us. You and today, we are going to swear on this university is ours. So, our provosts are going to give us 2,000 cedis in 2 installments. UCC. That's right. Please give them my pledge forms. UCC. Let us rise to your call. Where are my pledge form? Please, can we close the door so that the UCC. Yes. 2,000 and more. worry about the Vice Chancellor. His will come. Rise to the call. In 2 installments. In fact, if you are sending it by Momo, add the e-levy. Add the e-levy. Please, I have 12 more minutes. So we will call on all the deans. All the deans. Dean of Agriculture, Dean of Physical Sciences, deans. Oh, all of a sudden there are no more deans. Where are the deans? Come. The very nice story is that your boss, or our boss, illustrious boss, our Vice Chancellor, he doesn't have much. He's just going to give 5,000 in 3 installments. Can you give? Clap for the Vice Chancellor. Clap for the Vice Chancellor. Go and give to the Vice Chancellor in just 5 installments. Yes. No, those on the podium, especially the British High Commissioner, can do hers in the form of an educational structure. Okay? Not money. Yes. Please, can you invite all your deans on the U? Mention their names one by one. Please, can you close the door firmly? Call your deans on the U one by one, including the Dean of Graduate Studies.
Okay, so I'll start by calling the Dean of Graduate Studies, Professor Sarah Dakwa, to come over. I also call on Professor Emmanuel Issel, Dean School of Physical Science, if he's around. Then Professor DeGraff Aqua, Dean of School of Agriculture.
Professor Aqua, Dean of School of Agriculture.
I also have my director for Drake, who is also under my college.
Hey, give me a clap, please come.
Professor Atu Ama.
Please, there are deans on the U. Is that okay?
No, I have 3. And
3
Professor
deans.
Safu, he's not around.
Okay. All our deans are going to give us 1,500 in installments. So you will take them. Yes. Allowances are meant to help the university to grow. Oh, can you call your deans?
Professor Osekwatin.
Professor Boating.
Can you give me a wave? Professor Gate.
As for the Pro VC, the VC will take care of her. The Dean of Students is standing by the gate. She's here.
Professor Bondi Simpson, give me a wave.
Professor Eugene, Karl Marx, Mafio. Yes. Please hurry up. How much have you gotten now? All provosts, is it 4,000? Yes. So times 5. Then, yes. You have called all your people. Yes. Please. Yes. Please. 6. Bring 6. Give them to Professor Amakwando. Yes. And please write that you have given 6 to. Oh, yes, Prof. Professor David, all right? Call all of
Professor Didier J. Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology Education.
Yes.
Professor Godwin Awabel, Dean, Faculty of Educational Foundations. Professor Cosmas Cobold, Dean, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences Education. And Professor Jean K.T. Odro, Dean, School of Educational Development and Outreach.
Thank you very much. Give me 5 of the promissory notes. So it will be 4. It will be your duty to collect. UCC, let us rise to the call. Yes, Professor Gallion. MC. Oh, it does not have deans.
College of Distance Education does not have deans.
Okay. Create some. Create some. You have heads. You have heads. Okay, how many heads do you have?
We have 4 heads.
There are 4 heads. By your head, you see, I like your head very much. You see, when a man's head is bald to the middle, it is knowledge. If it is complete, it is wisdom. The only problem is in the morning when you want to wash your face and you take the water. You don't know where your face starts from, so you start from the back. Yes. Yes. How many? Record.
Yes. So, the Dean of School of Medical Sciences, Professor Sebastian Eliasson. If you are here, please come forward. Okay.
Professor Eliasson.
Then the Dean of School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, Professor Elvis Ameyao.
Please close the door very firmly.
Dean of School of Allied Health Sciences, Professor Desmond Omani Achampong. And the Dean of School of Nursing and Midwifery, Dr. Nancy.
So it will be
Enya.
your duty. It will be your duty to collect 2,000.
We have put their salaries.
Yes. 2,000. We thank you very much that you are illustrious provosts who control their... Give them a clap, please. Now let's go to the directors. Yes. Directors. Director of Audit. Clap for him. Director of Audit. Please. Director of Finance, Mrs. Obese. Oh, clap for her. All directors, can you come? All directors. Director of ICT Center. Please, directors, let people know who you are. All directors. All directors. People don't know you properly. Mention your names.
I am Professor Emmanuel Kofijima, DAPCA.
Professor Jima, clap for him. Professor Jima.
Professor Christine Eduyeboa, Director, Institute of Education.
Please clap for her.
Dr. Ivan Sekenem, Health Services.
Clap him.
Emmanuel P. Osu, Director, Internal Audit.
Clap for him.
Dr. Regina Jampo Vidoka, Director, ICT Services.
Clap for her.
Alberta Yard Graham, Director, Directorate of Consular and General Services.
Clap for her.
Dr. Karen Arthur, Design Thinking and Innovation Hub, Director.
Father Anthony.
Share them. Do they pay? How much? 2,000 in 4 installments. 2,000 in 4 installments. And if you have deputies, take another one. 2,000. Yes. Yes. Confucius Institute. Yes. Yes. What's your name, madam?
Oyame.
Oyame. What's that?
Kupo.
Yes. Clap for her. Clap for her. 2,000. SRC, Nooks, Tewu, Grassak, UTAG, Professor Bwedi, see? Yes. UTAG, are you standing or sitting? Or both? Ah, please. UTAG. With me included. With me included. UTAG has got 677 males, 199 females, totaling 876. Can each UTAG member give us 200 Ghana cedis? It's too small. 500 Ghana cedis. Or you have to go for consultation. Please. Please, listen. Listen. When I was chairman of hospital board and the hospital was collapsing, UTAG graciously accepted to pay 1 cedi a month. And that is why our health system has not collapsed. Mr. Kusi, we are here today because we are building for tomorrow. I've been on pension for 10 years, but I am passionate to come here. If UTAG members contribute just 500 in 2 installments, deducted at source, is it too bad? Is it too bad? Then you tell us.
Thank you very much, Sir Knight. As you know, the business of unionism, we would definitely do something to support the 60th anniversary. But please permit us, just as my sister unions, to consult with membership, and then surely we will come back to the planning committee. Thank you very much.
But tell them, those who vote for 500 Ghana cedis, can you raise your left hand? You see, majority carries the vote. Since Member of Parliament is here, those who are for 500 say yeah. SRC. Where are you? SRC. Please come. You are competing with the Director of Audit, Director of Code. Please come. Clap for him. Now, please give me courtesy, UCC. Let us rise to your call, UCC, to our call. Let us rise, we are called, let us rise. Can each student give us 10 Ghana cedis? Can those in favor say aye? Aye. Can the university give each student 10 Ghana cedis? You see the legacy. Please tell them that I beg them. 10 Ghana cedis. 10 Ghana cedis. Okay? That makes you a leader. That's me, a leader. So there are 74,000 UCC students, each just 10 cedis. But probably I have not told you why we are collecting this money. It is to help students who are not able to pay all their fees. It is to help to upgrade our university hospital. It is to make a monument befitting for our 60th anniversary. Something which is practical. 10 Ghana cedis. Can you tell the chairman of council that you can't pay? So, clap for me. 10 Ghana cedis for students. You go. Now, what about myself? Where do I belong? Pensioners? But first, let us call alumni. All the alumni who came to give long speech. You clap for them. The poetry was very good. Alumni, can you come? You know that ATL-FM was established by Professor Opoku Ajiman. I nearly added Jane. Prof, let them clap for you. ATL-FM, please come. You and I on pension. Dr. Abnori, come. He's gone. Please. Those who have got the number, send him SMS. He has left a check. He left a check. Clap for him in absentia. Okay. So, what is going to happen now is that the alumni, who is the head of alumni? Where is the president? Yeah. How many are on your records? How many?
Well, all the people we've mentioned previously are my members. So whatever each has contributed is actually coming from the alumni. Thank you.
So, can each alumnus or alumna contribute 100 Ghana cedis?
Those who have contributed 2,000, 1,000, 1,005 are all alumni. So I think that the alumni has done.
We want more, not so. We want more, not so. Just 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. Has been contributed notwithstanding, I will still get to my executive and my member. I'm sure will not be far-fetched. Thank you.
What did you say? Okay, you go. You heard what he said. Okay, just 1 more minute. Give us a song and give me this thing to collect whatever, silver collection. Hurry up. I will sing. Yes. Yes. Any song. Those on the high table, we don't mention your names to give money because you are doing something already. Please, Madam Sam, thank the president for us. He is an alumnus. If he were not, for the president, 1 million Ghana cedi befits his status. Will you convey that? And add the e-levy.
Thank you very much. And he said, Madam Sam Amasan, but he said it so. My maiden name is Sam. So it's in the spirit. He knows that I'm Sam. So I take it in good faith. I'm speaking on behalf of the Regional Coordinating Council. But for Mr. President's own, he will get to hear it. And I know Mr. President will come in a very grand style. So on behalf of the Regional Coordinating Council, we also do 5,000. And tomorrow we will receive it.
Please, last time one of them forgot, so bring the.
Because I don't want to write, maybe when we finish, we can just maybe go with that so that we don't have our records here. We'll give it to you today.
Good. That is very good. As the others on the podium get the mic, can we invite Ghana Commercial Bank, ZN Bank, all the banks? Can you come forward? Maybe they gave you a message. I have seen the directors here. Is there anybody here who would not like to talk? MP would not like to talk.
All right, thank you, Mr. MC. On the NDC side, we have about 38 MPs who are alumni. And on the MPP side, we have 23. I've put all of them together. So we'll resume on the 18th of May, and then we'll decide what we can do to support this project. Thank you very much.
So, right, we will decide. Any member who would like to talk? A hand was up here. Yes, please, come. Ghana Commercial Bank. Contestant number 1, clap for her.
Good afternoon. I think that you conspicuously omitted the only UNESCO Category 2 center on UCC campus, and to that we are pledging $300 towards the anniversary.
Oh, UNESCO, you are here. So that's number 11. Look at it. Yeah, $300 times 7. Please, UNESCO, get up for people to admire you. Yeah. You are the only one, but not the same. Get up for them to know you well. Yes, UNESCO, we thank you for $300. Should we bring you the card? Yes, please. Yes. Ghana Commercial Bank. Zenith. Ghana Commercial Bank. Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon. So here is my word. We'll get back handsomely to you. Thank you.
Please write Ghana Commercial Bank handsomely.
No, we are from the same bank.
You are from the same bank. Nathaniel Jima, alumna, pensioner, priest, want to collection. A bank in ya. Yeah.
Prudential Bank. We are coming heavy, substantial. So we are coming. Yes.
Prudential Bank, heavy and timelines. The same.
I am with Fidelity Bank. And because I don't want to underpromise, I want to go and consult and come back.
So for all the banks, we are giving you 2 weeks.
Shake. What bank is this? Susu Company. What about you? Okay, there are people who would like to donate something small and be part of it. Please give me a song. We just have 5 minutes. I have finished with the mic. Give me the song. 5 minutes, please. Give me a song. I will collect it. Yeah. Say baby, papa, be was it? Yes.
Yes, I want to pledge $200.
Kanekasi.
I am pledging $200.
Thank you, the initiator of ATL-FM. I think because of time, if you have goodwill, you don't have to be forced. Is that right? If you have goodwill, you don't have to be forced. See the registrar, your dean. But as the thing goes on, people will be walking through with the pledge forms. I must obey the registrar. Is that okay? I must obey the registrar. I think I should stop here.
Thank you very much, Sir Knight, Professor Anthony Ananpra. For an overview of the plan of activities for UCC at 60 celebrations from April to October 2022, please help me welcome Professor L.K. Sam Amwa, Chairman, UCC at 60 Planning Committee, for details.
Thank you very much. I think time is fast spent, so I will just direct you to the program. We have the plan of activities listed there. We are starting, today is the starting point. So in April, there are a number of activities that are lined up. The highlights for the programs from April to October are these. There will be 5 inaugural lectures from our distinguished professors. They are all there, lined up for us. There will be health talks. There will be blood donation opportunities, community health education. So there are so many activities if you have access to the program. In fact, we shall make the program online, or I mean, we can have digital versions so that we can keep up with the program. So from April to October, October will be the climax. We shall have a Durbar, and I'm sure it will be exciting. So let's listen to the news and other forms of announcements for each month. Colleges will have the opportunities, all the unions will have opportunities to feature in the celebration. So this is what I have. From April to October, there are activities lined up for our use. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Saki would help us with some music from the keyboard as we prepare to donate a scooper to one of our students who completed just recently. Before the presentation, Mr. Saki would help us with some music. So this presentation forms part of the social responsibility of the University of Cape Coast. I'll call on the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Johnson Yakubu, to do us the honors as we present a school per to one physically challenged student who was with the College of Distance Education. Sir, let's welcome him, please.
Professor Chair, at the age of 60, we want to give gifts to deserving people. And there was a time I was going around to check the campus. I saw one of our students. He was going for a lecture. And when I saw him, I felt the university should do something to support that student. And so I discussed with my twin brother. Is he here? Professor Gallion. Prof, if you are here, please come. So when I discussed the issue with him, he took it up. And he has followed up to this time. So I want to give him the opportunity to do the presentation to the student. So, Prof, you give us a background and give us what we have done and give the presentation to the candidate.
Well, my twin brother has ambushed me. It's like the two of us thought about the same thing at the same time. So when we met, we discussed it. I think Professor Gachi should come up. Yeah, so I discussed with Prof. Gachi, then we decided to meet with the Vice Chancellor. Fortunately for us, he met the guy as he initially said, and we were in tune. So we had to look for people who could supply the bike. We thought we could present it at the last congregation, but that did not happen. So we are happy we got the bike just a few weeks back, and we are supposed to present it to the gentleman. And we thank the Dean of School of Business for initiating the search for the bike. I am supposed to inform us. The Vice Chancellor says for the first 1 year, the maintenance cost of the vehicle will be borne by the College of Distance Education. The Vice Chancellor also allowed the College of Distance Education to pay for the bike. We know that the gentleman is at home after graduation. He also sent a delegation to appeal to us to get some job. Again, the Vice Chancellor has agreed that he will be given some temporary appointment. Unfortunately, the Minister of Education has left, but we have our regional minister here. When we get clearance for employment, he will be given permanent appointment with the university. As stated, UCC, we have been noted over the years as disability friendly. And so this is what we want to show as our social corporate responsibility to the students that we train. We think that this will further market us to others. We have, as when I was library chairman, we took care of the blind or visually challenged. And we ensured that they had machines to work with. And I think In the course of designing our buildings, at development committee meetings, we have instructed that our buildings should be disability friendly. And this is another way to show that UCC cares. Thank you very much. The gentleman is here, so I give the honor to the dean to invite him.
Thank you. Please, can you come forward? Albani. Oh, no, they should be there.
I guess he's still trying to get the hang of it, you know. Yeah, make sure you pick a license for him. It takes only one passenger, right? Okay. Before the chairman of council comes in with his closing remarks, I'd like to make a few acknowledgements. You know, the Minister of Education, Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Duchum, left. And so we acknowledge him in absentia, though. I would like to acknowledge the chairman of council who has presided over this afternoon's program, Professor Obin Mreku, the Honorable Central Regional Minister, Justina Marigold Hassan, Her Excellency, the British High Commissioner to Ghana, Harriet Thompson, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Johnson Yakubu Ampon, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Rosemond Boahini, Oman Hinin of the Ogwa traditional area, Osabere Makwesiata II, the Honorable Cape Coast North Member of Parliament, Dr. Kwam Naminta Nyakun, Nana Kwesi Enu, the third Chief of Kokwado, Kweku Enu, Kwekwenu. Then Nana Ambe Yaba, Kronti Hima of Ogwa traditional area. Then our members of council, Dr. Samuel Bet Bwedi Kusi, Professor Eric Anani, Madam Cecilia Ajo Wofeso, Dr. Mami Ajoa Jakche Jando. Most Reverend Titles, K. Awatri Pratt, Mr. Stephen Williams, Mr. Samuel Dansua Koto, Dr. Justus De Kuma, Dr. Samuel Bet Bwedi Kusi. I mentioned that already. Our provosts, Professor Martin Seko, Provost of College of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Isaac Gallion, Professor Francis Eric Amukwando, Professor Jojo Egan, Professor Ernest Kofi Davis. Then we have former Vice Chancellors here, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Aduobin, Professor Domwini Dabire Kupole, Professor Joseph Gate Ampia. We have Vice Chancellors and Registrars of sister universities, Professor J.D. Owusu, Reverend Professor J.D. Owusu Secretary, Professor David K. Isuman, Dr. Moses Abnori has left. We have former Pro-Vice Chancellors here, Professor George K.T. Odro, Professor John Nelson Boa, and Professor Dora Francisca Edubuando. We have other dignitaries here, Lawyer Daniel Duete Ajari, Special Assistant to the Minister of Education. I believe he left. Then the others, Angela Afran, Dr. Eric Nkansa, and Professor K. Kwajo Opoku Ajiman. The first alumnus to have spoken. I guess that's all I have on my note. Thank you very much. And on this note, I invite the chairman to give his closing remarks.
In the interest of progress, I will stand by the protocols already established. I think today has been a historic day for UCC. We have had a successful launch of the 60th anniversary celebrations, which means we are giving marching orders for the activities to be unfolded. The central theme for the anniversary, as you can see in the program, is 60 years of quality higher education expanding the frontiers. And that's extremely significant in the sense that we are saying that despite the accolades the milestones that we have achieved, we are still going to move forward, improve upon what we have achieved. The Vice Chancellor, after the registrar had given some welcoming address, the VC also came in to highlight on the theme of the anniversary celebrations, activities. And then he reminded all of us, as you may recall, that UCC today began from a humble step as a seed. The example was given of the seed of an oak that grows into a huge foliage in which birds can even find rest. So you see that from the humble beginnings of UCC, we now find UCC as an important player on the global map of tertiary education providers. The registrar once again came to introduce the guest of honor, who is the minister, and the minister, Dr. Aduchum, took the podium and reminded us in his address that the world is now in the fourth industrial revolution, that the era of artificial intelligence has arrived, and that Ghana should take note, UCC should take note, and to be extremely competitive. And we cannot continue to do business as usual, but we must find unusual ways or new ways, innovative ways of doing things. And that UCC should be a leader in that crusade. UCC should produce students or enable students who would add value to the lessons taught in the classroom. That the days of remote memorizing things by remote and then recalling them in exams have gone and passed, and that we should now encourage a major transformation. And in all these things, his expectation is that UCC will be at the forefront of that education transformation. He mentioned special needs children, and that UCC should continue to focus in providing special education for the children or students with special needs, learning needs. The minister emphasized his passion for the promotion of STEM education. And then he touched on the fact that UCC can as well join that crusade in championing the promotion of STEM as an instrument of development for the country. As the minister was speaking, UCC council members and management had whispered to me to remind the minister, if he were to be here, that we want a special appeal or plea to the minister to support the application of UCC for the accreditation to mount engineering and programs in engineering, artificial intelligence, and things like that. But we had the opportunity to tell him before he left, and he has given the nod that he will be all out to support the application for getting GTech to approve and give accreditation for us to mount the programs, new programs in engineering and artificial intelligence next academic year. We have been told by the minister that all of us have various roles to play as change agents for our country. And then, before he concluded, he announced that he is going to donate within 2 weeks a 65 bus to UCC in order that UCC can promote neighborhood academic initiative to benefit children in the community. We also had members of the alumni come to give short messages, and in all these things, ladies and gentlemen, we see that the celebration is a year-long event, and the climax, as has been noted, is in October. In December, in fact, I think council led the university management to Jubilee House, and we got the in-principle acceptance by the government. The president and the ministers would be here to join us in October in the Durbar, which is the climax of these celebrations. And I think all of us have to make a deliberate attempt to make a contribution, however small, in making the year-long celebration a big, big success. You know, with the Times ranking, all eyes are on UCC, and it will not be good for us after achieving those, and then our 60th anniversary does not become an example for others to emulate. So please get on board and help us to make it a major success. I want to thank you all for your attention, and I also want to thank you particularly for the pledges that you have given, and for those who have not given to make their pledges and contributions towards the fundraising. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Chair. Please help me acknowledge the presence of the immediate past rector of GIMPA and now Dean of the Faculty of Law, University of Cape Coast, Professor Philip Ibobonza-Simpson. At this point, I'll call on Mrs. Anastasia Kumikosa to give the vote of thanks. Please welcome her.
To be judicious with time, Prof. Chair, I would like you to permit me to stand on existing protocols. That said, all protocols observed. Good afternoon to you all. On behalf of management and the entire staff of the University of Cape Coast, I would like to extend our profound sense of gratitude to the Almighty God for making today's event a resounding success. With His blessings, grace, and guidance, we are able to launch our 60th anniversary. We want to extend our deepest appreciation to the chairperson and also chairman of council, Professor Obeng Miriku, for accepting to chair this launch and for your dedication in ensuring the success of today's event. We would also like to extend our sincerest appreciation to our special guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Education. Unfortunately, he's not present. This launch would not have been complete without his presence and his words of inspiration. And although he's not here with us, we want to assure him that we will indeed become the engine of transformation in Ghana. So thank you for joining us. I hope there are some representatives here who will send our thanks to him. We want to acknowledge, of course, the Central Regional Minister, Mrs. Justina Marigold Assan. Thank you for joining us, and as well,
the Member of Parliament for Cape Coast North, Honorable Kwamina Minta Nyako. Thank you for being with us today. Again, we want to thank the Omahini and, of course, the members of the Ogwa Traditional Council for being with us today. We truly appreciate your presence. We take this opportunity to say a big thank you to the Vice Chancellor, the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and all principal officers of the University of Cape Coast, as well as all past executive heads and staff of the University of Cape Coast for gracing this occasion. Thank you again to all principal officers of sister higher education institutions. We are grateful that you came. An event like this cannot happen overnight. It requires some planning. And of course, we want to thank the dedicated team who planned all these activities with great gusto. We take this opportunity to thank all the committees and the subcommittees, the logistics and security, catering, health. We want to thank them all for bringing this event to a complete close. We thank you all for your dedicated effort. And finally, to the Cadet Corps, to the students who performed today, we thank you for gracing the occasion. Thank you all for attending today's event. Now, as we depart from here, we want to be reminded that it is through our collective effort that the University of Cape Coast remains the #1 university in Ghana, the #1 university in West Africa, and soon to become the #1 university in Africa and beyond. The University of Cape Coast will always, always rise to the call. Thank you all for coming. God bless you all.
Thank you, Anastasia. We're grateful. Let me call on Reverend Professor.
As I done so.
Please, shall we stand for the closing prayer? Precious Lord, we want to thank you for how far you have brought us. We want to thank you for the success of this program. We thank you for what we have been able to achieve over the past 60 years. Lord, we know that just as you have helped us to achieve a lot, in the years ahead, you continue to help us to achieve more. We commit the rest of the program that have been planned for as part of this celebration to your hands. Sound mind, an opportunity to participate in all these programs to your own glory. Finally, we are praying for traveling mercy for all those who have your blessings continue to be upon us. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. Please, we remain standing as we sing the UCC anthems.